All right. Hello and good morning, everybody. My name is Daniel Brisbane. I'm one of the instructors and mentors, as well as a graduate of the Nature Connected Coaching Program here at Earth-Based Institute. And the intention behind this gathering here is to give you a bit of a sneak peek into what Earth-Based Institute is all about here and what our Nature Connected Coaching Program really entails and all the kind of details about it to help you have a better understanding and greater clarity about who we are, what we offer here at EBI, and if it's the right fit for you and your vision for your life and the work that you do. So to start out, actually, I'm going to share my screen here. Our Nature Connected Coaching Program is an ICF certified program, certification program for coaching. And ICF is, as you can see here, the International Coaching Federation. And this is their website here. And they really are kind of a overseeing company of coaches that if someone is an ICF certified coach, they've really shown that they know what they're doing, that they have the skills and know how to really be a professional coach. And so ICF is a credentialing for coaches that are professionals who have met stringent education and experience requirements and have demonstrated a thorough understanding of the coaching competencies that set the standard in the profession. And they adhere to strict ethical guidelines as part of ICF's mission to protect and serve coaching consumers. And so our program here is really an ICF certified program that goes through the core competencies that the ICF requires coaches to do, with that extra kind of twist of nature connection, nature awareness, and how nature can really be a co-guide and collaborator inside of someone's personal transformation and experience with you as their coach. And here I want to just quickly share the ICF. This is the ICF's definition of professional coaching. And they say that professional coaching is partnering with clients in a thought-provoking and creative process that inspires them to maximize their personal and professional potential. Coaches honor the client as the expert in his or her life and work and believe every client is creative, resourceful, and whole. Professional coaching focuses on setting goals, creating outcomes, and managing personal change. And it's the coach's responsibility to discover and clarify and align with what the client wants to achieve so that it's client-led, and encourage clients' self-discovery and eliciting client-generated solutions and strategies, while also holding the client responsible and accountable for their personal growth and change in their life. And one thing I love about this definition here, and what it really aligns with nature connected coaching, is that it's, as coaches, we're not here to tell people what to do. We're not meant to be the all-knowing experts in every aspect of life and have all the answers for our clients and their issues, but rather, as coaches, what our job is to do is to partner with them, walk side by side, literally and figuratively, with them along their journey, and bring out their wisdom and their deep-centered knowing, as we say here at EBI, and really help them discover and clarify within themselves the answers to their greatest questions. And then I just want to quickly share what we define here at EBI as what is a nature-connected coach in context to the ICF definition of it. And a nature-connected coach is that definition of a professional coach, like the ICF shares, who strives to guide their client to greater self-awareness, empowerment, and connection to purpose. A nature-connected coach also has a strong personal connection, respect, and trust in the natural world, the natural cycles, and natural processes. A nature-connected coach considers nature to be an active collaborator or co-guide in the work with a client. And a nature-connected coach inherently looks to nature for direction, for inspiration, for solutions. And the key ingredient that a nature-connected coach uses to guide the client in a collaborative way with nature into a deeper state of connection with themselves is what we call ceremony. And not the dogmatic specifics found in different forms of ceremony, but the rather underlying basic structure that all ceremonies follow. And what we teach our coaches is how to create a ceremony inside of every coaching session where there is intention, where it is sacred, where there is opportunity to step into a new way of being for the client that maybe they've never experienced in a specific part of their life. So I just wanted to quickly share those definitions to kind of give you a better idea of, what is a coach? What does it mean to be a coach? And, I always love the analogy of, as coaches, it's similar to giving a man a fish versus teaching a man to fish. That old saying goes. And as coaches, we're here to teach people how to fish, teach people how to be and listen and clarify their vision through themselves, and bringing nature in as a co-guide, as a container for that experience, as a teacher and a metaphor and a mirror for what's going on inside of us. And the way I love to describe nature-connected coaching for myself personally is that it's the art of guiding clients or people through their internal wilderness, through the experience they have in the external wilderness. And that just like nature is a mirror for what's going on inside of us, it can really help bring clarity of, what am I really wanting to create in my life? What is getting in the way of my vision? And starting to really have understanding of those questions. All right, I just want to quickly pause and check and see if there's any questions. If you have any questions, just go ahead and put them in the chat here. Okay, I see one here that says, what does the program teach in general? And that's a great question. And actually, I'm going to go with that question of what is the curriculum of our program right now with you. Give me 1 second here. Okay, I'm going to share my screen once again. And this is a kind of our brochure of the curriculum of our course. And I'll be sending this in a follow-up email as well. So if you're watching the recording right now, I'll be sending this information over to you via email so you can look through some of this stuff on your own as well. But to kind of get a quick overview of the Nature Connected Coaching Program here, it's a 12-month certification course. We have 5 intensives, and those intensives range between 5 to 7 days long, roughly. And they're about every 3 months apart. So if you're able to make all 5 intensives with your cohort that you start with, then you'll finish in 12 months. But we give our students up to 24 months to finish, because sometimes you might need to miss an intensive due to family or work situations. But we will have that intensive maybe at a later date that you can take. So you kind of have an extra year window to make up any intensives that you might need to miss. And we have 4 cohorts that start each year. The first cohort starts in January of each year, the second one in March, the third one in June, which we have a cohort starting this June in just a few weeks, and the fourth one is in October. And the January and June cohorts begin with us in person here in Colorado for this, the first intensive, which we call Foundations, which you see here. Foundations is you get into nature immersion, relationship and connection, and really starting to learn a lot of the core nature awareness and nature connection exercises and skills that we teach to create a deeper connection and relationship with nature. And so we start off with that, and then we get into some eco-psychology and creating the container for ceremony of a nature-connected coaching session, and how to really create that container of trust and safety with another person, especially outdoors, and how to get into that and begin with, opening it up for powerful questions and self-discovery for the client, and bringing in your own deep listening skills that we teach and cover in the foundations course. And then the third part of the foundations is we get into threshold, which is a very unique, and I would say almost most coaching schools don't teach this piece here of threshold. And what we mean by threshold is a stepping into a client's unknown. And a lot of coaches learn how to create goals and vision and SMART goals and daily habits, milestones to work with their clients, planning out their future with them. But one thing we do in nature connected coaching is how can we bring that future experience, that person you're choosing to become in your life within the goals that you're choosing to create, how can we bring that experience into the here and now? And how can nature be a part of that threshold experience of kind of stepping into an unknown for yourself? And rather than talking about what you're going to do later, let's bring that experience into the here and now. And that's what we mean by threshold, and really having a almost playful and creative exploration of, what is this person that you're stepping into in your life around the vision and goals that you have. And then the last piece is creating awareness and facilitating integration in this first foundations intensive. And that integration piece is, incorporation. How are you going to live out this, new person you're becoming throughout your day, throughout your week, throughout your life, at work or with your family, different things like that. But really starting to see, like, how are you going to live this vision that you just experienced in this moment out into the world. And that's what we cover throughout the first foundations intensive, which is usually 7 to 8 days long, depending on which cohort you start with. But basically, by the end of that first week with us, that first foundations intensive, you have the full ceremony and outline to start coaching clients, and start coaching clients in nature as well, so that you're able to start incorporating and integrating this work, right away. You're not waiting halfway through the program, 6-9 months down the road to finally be like, okay, now I can start practicing with people. It's like, no, we're going to get you set up so you can start practicing and bringing this work in right away. And I think also kind of backtracking a little bit, I forgot to bring up that January and June starts in person with us. March and October begins online with us for this first foundations intensive. But then after that, you can choose, no matter if you start in January or March or October or June, if you want to do the rest of the intensives, the other 4 that are after foundations, if you want to do them online with us or in person or a hybrid of the 2. What we really have here is we've created a kind of a flexibility to allow you to kind of choose what journey you want to go through with us through this coaching program, where you can do it completely online with us, you can do it completely in person with us in the intensives, or you can do a hybrid of the 2 where you do some online, some in person. And then, so that's the foundations, that's that first intensive right there. And then after that, we get into what we call the toolbox modules. And that's what is covered in the other 4 intensives in the coaching program. This is where we get into some, really specific coaching skills. And the first one that we usually get into is bringing Gestalt therapy principles into coaching, and Gestalt therapy really being that deep listening skill of when our clients are making or breaking contact within their vision. And what I mean by that is we can easily lose contact with our vision through saying like the shoulds, like I should be doing this or I should be doing that, but I'm not doing it. Or projections, we're projecting our insecurities that, oh, maybe I'm not good enough, or I'm not like that person that can do that thing I want to create in my life. But really that's just an idea or story going on inside of you that can transform and change. And so Gestalt is really starting to kind of hear, what is that internal dialogue, that nonverbal communication even that we're always portraying, and start to really be aware of it and noticing when our clients are maybe starting to, have a projection or an introject which is a story or belief that was told to them by somebody else that doesn't fully align with them. And so having that awareness of those kind of Gestalt breaks of contact happening, or when they also do happen as well, when someone starts to really step into their vision, and noticing that energetic shift inside of the client. So we start with Gestalt, and then we get into parts work, where parts work is starting to see that we're not just, kind of one-dimensional or linear human beings. We're not just kind of like the same person every time, but actually how we show up in different parts of our life changes, and we kind of have different parts of us, so to speak, around kind of our personality, our identity, our behaviors that can show up in different spaces, and start to kind of create awareness of the different parts we have, and creating a mandala of our parts, and a mandala really being kind of like if you can even kind of see here, like using a whiteboard even, but starting to put your parts up in front of you, kind of getting these parts of inside of you out in front of you, and starting to see, okay, how am I showing up in this part of my life? So we get into some parts work, which is, really starting to understand ourselves on a deeper level to allow that self-discovery and self-awareness, which coaching really gets into. And then the next toolbox intensive after that, we get into some brain and change, or as I like to call it, neuroscience and nature, and starting to understand that transformation happens first in the brain. And when we can understand how the brain works, and really understand a lot of this neuroscience that's been having a lot of major discoveries about our brain in the last few decades, and bringing that into some of these nature awareness and nature connection skills that have been around for hundreds of thousands of years, with our ancestors, and kind of bringing the new age with the old school, nature connection, and bringing them together as one. And that when we understand how our brain works and what's going on up here in between our ears, we can start to train our mind and work with our mind to be our greatest ally, rather than our biggest challenge or obstacle. Because I'm sure you can agree that the biggest obstacle or the biggest challenge you have for yourself a lot of times is yourself. And so when we understand how the brain and change work, and the process of change and creating new stories and beliefs, we can start to transform ourselves from the inside out to start to create the external outcomes that we want in our life. And we have 2 modules that are on brain and change, because we really dive deep into that, and the importance of just really understanding this amazing thing we have in our brain called our mind. And then we also get into long-term coaching as well, and training our coaches, how to create programs and journeys within their coaching with clients that, goes over, several months to several years long if they want to. Because one thing you'll be aware of is that, change doesn't happen overnight. Change takes time. And so really working with our clients, not just, for one session, but over a period of time, we're really empowering them to create change, rather than just kind of having, one session with us and expecting their lives to be completely different, and knowing that, like, no, it takes time, it takes consistency, it takes intensity, it takes, all these things to change ourselves from the inside out. And then with the long-term coaching, we get into some trauma. And we are training our coaches to be, trauma therapists, but we're training them to really understand how trauma shows up, especially when it comes to creating growth and change and transformation, and that how to be with someone that may have had, either a capital T or little t trauma, like a big trauma or a little one, and how to be with those strong emotions. And when that past experience really shows up intensely in the present moment, how to, work somatically with the body to regulate and bring, the client and ourselves, back in the present moment, so that we can thrive in our lives, even if we've had traumatic past experiences that are influencing us, and even, potentially turning that trauma into triumph. And that, like, sometimes, the traumatic experiences we've had can actually show us how capable and strong we are, and using, that trauma as a catalyst for change and good. So we dive into some of that within our trauma work, and then we also get into some grief and loss, which is another, part of, being with strong emotions. And that a lot of times grief and loss is something that we must really sit with and be with in order to allow ourselves to grow into something new. And rather than trying to avoid it or suppress it or pretend it's not there, which is, kind of a very common thing in society these days, we train our coaches of how to listen and be with somebody when they have experienced great grief and loss, so they can start to really allow it to bring them into a new way of being in their life, and not hold them back or keep them stuck, but really that is a part of their past, and that they can start to relate with it in a new way, so they can move towards growth, move towards change, and whatever that looks like. And so the grief and the trauma is really not to train our coaches to be therapists, but as coaches, how to be trauma informed, grief informed, so they can be confident and competent to hold space and be with someone that's experienced those things. And rather than be like, oh, I can't do that, or like, I don't want to go there. It's like, no, like, we can be with this. It's okay. We can breathe into this, and how can nature show up in this space with us as well, to really allow for healing and for growth. And then our last kind of pieces we actually have two parts of parts work. So we dive into more of that, understanding the different parts of us and how to really change the mission or the vision that each of our parts have, so that all of our parts inside of us are working together as one towards a common vision for the whole, the self, the person, such as, me. So that's kind of like a brief rundown of our curriculum of the Nature Connected Coaching program here. And I know that was like a really quick rundown. There's a lot more information there. But I just want to kind of like open it up just for any questions after I shared that piece. Okay. Okay, so yeah, and then we got a question here. How and when do you apply for the coaching program? And I'm going to share my screen once more. I'll have this link, like I said, for those of you that are going to watch the recording. I'll put this in the chat here, but this is our application form for the Nature Connected Coaching program. We require all potential students to fill out this form. It's really a chance to get to know you better, who you are, what what experience you've had within coaching, nature connection, wilderness experience, things like that. What's your vision? Just really see like, hey, are you in alignment with who we're looking for our students, and are we in alignment for you and what you're looking for your work? And so this is the form here, and we kind of just some basic information, references of yours, your experience in the wilderness, some information about you, and then some like kind of final details about tuition, calendar dates for our future intensives, things like that. So that's all here. And this application takes half an hour to fill out, usually maybe 30 to 40 minutes. It doesn't cost anything to submit it with us. And this is how you apply, is by filling this out. And we require at least a month minimum before our cohort starts to, get this application and kind of get you dialed in and registered to start with that specific cohort. So for example, we still have kind of a window right now for our October cohort. Our June cohort's filled up. It starts later this month. But if you wanted to submit or apply for October, start with us online. We kind of just require by September to fill this out. But if you even want to fill it out now for that October cohort, that's great. We might even, I think we have a bit of a discount going until June 15th. So 2 weeks from today, if you fill out this application, we have a bit of a discount for that October cohort. And then, so yeah, that's kind of how you apply for us or with us, is fill out this application, get it over to us. And then, yeah, that's kind of the details of that. And then, and here's another, this is a link on our website here around some more kind of information about the coaching program. We have payment plans here. As you can see, if I do the drop down, you can see, we have 6 to 30-month payment plans. You can kind of see which one works best for how you want to pay for the program here. We also offer scholarships. As you can see, we offer 2 $2,500 tuition reduction scholarships per cohort. And scholarships are available to those who use the payment plan. And the scholarship is basically, let's see here. It's basically create a business plan for how you want to integrate and bring this work as a nature connected coach to your community and to the world. And let me see here, where does it start? Yeah, so a full-fledged business plan that shows your intentions for this work and how the EBI training will support both your impact and financial goals. And so it's really that simple. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be exactly what happens when you graduate, but start creating that. And we don't really have like a strict format of how it should look. It could be, in a Word document, make a spreadsheet. You could write it out and send it to us. But just start writing that, who are you going to serve? How many clients do you want to work with? What are the kind of how much income do you need to make per month, and how can that influence how much you charge, as well as how many clients you have? And then, who is your ideal demographic that you want to serve in the world? What is that need in the world that you're really attuned to, that you want to be a solution for? And start to write that out. And that could get you a good chunk of money off your tuition as a student, like $2,500. That's a good amount of money right there. So, and we offer that for 2 students per cohort. Let's see here. Also wanted to kind of share pull up a few photos from past intensives with our students. And here's 2 of our students from a past intensive during the winter time here in Colorado. But just kind of showing that you can do nature connected coaching all times of the year if you're able to do it and your client's able to do it. But this is what it looks like. It's really being out in nature, finding space in nature, and even if it's your nearby park with a client, or finding some open space where you can kind of get away from the high energy of everyday life in the city, so to speak, and get into that frequency and baseline of nature to really get into a more grounded and centered state to really dive into a ceremony of transformation and change. And so this is a photo of 2 of our students, working together. And here's kind of another one. And this is what it looks like on the last day of every intensive. We facilitate what are called fish bowls. And a fish bowl is basically, you'll have a chance to be a coach with one of your classmates as your client. And you'll be observed by one of the mentors here at EBI, for example, might be me, as well as some of your classmates, as you go through a coaching ceremony to, have some practice of, coaching somebody and getting some really awesome and authentic feedback of, what you did really well, and some things that you can really work on as you go home and start to work with your own personal clients. And we have two people, or it looks like these two in the middle here are in a coaching session, and the two people in the back here are classmates taking some notes, observing them. Here's one of our past mentors, taking some notes. And this is what we do. It's not just theoretical learning of these principles in nature connection and transformational coaching, but it's experiential learning. Here at EBI, we facilitate what we call the 50-50 plan, where 50% is kind of structured and you're learning, we're teaching you, and 50% is really that applied learning through experiential, like go out and do the practice. You're going to go out and do that thing that we just talked about, so that you're getting that real powerful learning experience, and not just downloading in your brain, but you're feeling and experiencing it in the body. And so we do that. And this is actually the property that we use here in Colorado for a lot of our intensives. It's some beautiful property kind of right in the foothills above Boulder. And so, yeah, this is kind of just like gives you an idea, of visual, that, like, what does nature connected coaching really look like? And it's really just that. It's, having a heart-to-heart, powerful, conversation with another person around the powerful questions and vision they have for their lives, to really, step into a way of being in consciousness in themselves that's going to support that growth. And rather than seeing like, oh, this is just how things are in my life and nothing's going to change, realizing like, no, we are always learning, growing, transforming, evolving, just like nature is, because we are part of nature. And when we start to see that, we start to see, oh, like there's a lot more potential here for me in my life that I wasn't aware of. And there's things I can let go of, and new things I can step into, and really just having those deep listening skills as a coach, and those guiding skills of, asking those powerful questions with a client to really support them to find the powerful answers within them. So I just want to quickly kind of share this to kind of give you like a little bit of a visual, a little bit of an idea of what, nature connected coaching kind of looks like. Because it's really, not anything crazy or grandiose. It's very simple things done in a very powerful way. All right. And then let me see here. I think shared that. I think the last thing I just wanted to share here is this is a study, or a collection of kind of data and information from the International Coaching Federation, of certified coaches, and some like kind of gathered some information from them. And I just wanted to share some things here with you. And like one of the things I saw was that ICF coaches across the globe, on average make $47,100 is what they saw. Because a lot of times people ask me, like, can I make a living doing this work as a nature connected coach? The answer is yes. Like, it is completely possible. And coaches on average are making that. Here in let's see, North America, it's about $62,500 that coaches are making on average. So it is completely possible. And like one of the questions I love to ask people that really want to make a career out of this is, well, what is the need in the world that you're really aware of that you want to be a solution for? Because that is one of the, like, when you can answer that question, that's how you're going to really create impact and create success, financial success in this work. Let's see here. Yeah, and so estimated global total revenue for 2019 was $2.8 billion US, which is a 21% increase over 2015. And what this is saying basically is that the amount of money being invested into coaching is increasing, and coaching is becoming more and more of a valued skill set these days. Like, people are really seeing like, oh, coaches really can create growth and impact, for my personal or professional life. And so more and more people are seeking out coaching. It's a growing business, and it's been growing still since then. And let's see here. Yeah, so and like a lot, I think this is kind of showing that a lot of people really value and look for ICF certified coaches. And like they look for people that have the credential of ICF coaching because it's so important, because a lot of people can say they're coaches out there, but maybe don't know what they're doing, and can actually even create worse outcomes for people in their lives because they don't know what they're doing through this work. And it's actually one of the biggest challenges for certified coaches is that the people out there that say they're coaches that, with the best intentions, they want to create growth, help, but just don't know what they're doing, and then kind of create a bad name for coaches in general out there. And so people are really seeing like, hey, if someone's an ICF certified coach, they show they know what they're doing, and there's a lot of value in coaches that do that. And so that's why we are ICF certified. This isn't just like some, let's go to nature and have fun. Like, no, this is, professional service and work that we train here at EBI. And typical coaching clients between 35 and 44 years old. And there's been a sharp rise in managers and leaders that bring in coaching skills back into their work. And let me see here. There was one more piece. Yeah, because a lot of coaches in our coaching program here, because I see one other question is, how do coaches from our program apply this work, is either create your own business, which we really help guide you in creating throughout the coaching program here, or you can bring this work back into the work you were already doing, which a lot of our students have done, such as people in the corporate world, come take our nature connected coaching program and go back to the corporate world and really bring this new skill set into the work they do and what they offer, the business they work for, because, a lot of corporations and corporate life can be very stressful, high anxiety. And so bringing in nature connection skills has been a great impact to bring up, productivity, to bring up morale, to bring up, profits and things like that. And then we have, a lot of people in the education world, from teachers to counselors, or just people that work in education in general, come to our program and then bring this work back to the school they work for, the school district, and like are able to bring, nature connected coaching or nature connection skills from, we've had, as young as, kindergarten all the way up to college and professors. So like a lot of people from the education world come take our program, bring it back to the school or school district they work at. Another one is we have a lot of therapists, consultants, counselors, things like that that want to learn these skills and bring that back into their work as well. So we have a lot of different modalities as well. People that like weren't in any of those and we're like, hey, I want to learn this work and create a business and a service, inside this work, because I'm just burnt out on the work I was doing in the past. Like, for example, for me, I was in construction. Like, I actually have a college degree in construction management before I, quit my job and pursued becoming a nature connected coach. And it wasn't that I was burnt out in what I was doing before, but it's just that I felt that deep centered knowing and that pull to really find a line of work that really created great impact that I wanted to have for others and for my own personal life as well. So a lot of people kind of do that. They, own business, bring it back in their own work, or kind of something similar to that as far as nature connected coaching in their community as well. And then lastly here, let's see. We got a start date for June. I know we have, I think just one seat open for that one. It'll be camping with us. So if you're interested, let us know right away for that. Our next start date is October 13th to 16th for our online cohort. We've got 4 seats open for that. And like I said earlier, registration closes September 15th, a month before. And then our registration or our tuition is going to be going up after October 1st as well. So if you're really interested in signing up for our Nature Connected coaching program, even if it's for January or March of next year, if we get you registered before October 1st, we can get you locked in at that lower tuition rate before it goes up after October 1st. If you want to kind of learn more about that, feel free to reach out to me and ask questions, and I can answer those for you. But yes, we have October 13th to 16th online as our next one. If you register before June 15th, we have a discount going on right now as well. If you want to know more, just reach out to me. And then if you submit your application for that link I was sharing with you by this Sunday, June 5th, we'll also give you a $100 discount. So if you just spend 30 to 40 minutes over the next couple days here, submit your application, you get a $100 discount. So kind of like a win-win, no reason not to do it. So yeah, we kind of have that going on. And this is the, like I said, this is the application here, and I'll be sending this over to you here in the chat, as well as a follow-up email if you're watching this recording. All right, I think that's it. I think that was everything I wanted to cover. And let me just stop sharing my screen again. Let me know, is there any kind of last questions? There were some great questions you guys asked. I just want to make sure before we finalize. Anything else? All right. Well, thank you guys for showing up. I hope this was helpful for you. Feel free to reach out to me. Like, I'm here to answer questions, connect, all those good things. So yeah, I'd love to hear from you if you do have questions. And yeah, thank you for showing up. Thank you for watching this, if you're watching the recording as well. And I hope you have a great day and look forward to chatting with you soon.